Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Advancement. Welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. So let's get straight into this topic here. So as you guys know, and I want to say this now because I've been noticing that the way this LeBron free agency period is being covered, it's almost like as if there must be one storyline, and if anyone that strays outside of that storyline, they're going to be reprimanded. That's certainly what I've noticed with Rick Bucher yesterday. Everyone came for Rick Bucher. Everyone. Shannon Sharp, the whole lot of them. Because Rick decided to say something that was different from the narrative that these guys put out there. Now, here's the irony of all of this. Colin Cowherd said the same thing a few days ago. Skip Bayless said the same thing. But they want the narrative to be controlled. But it seems like the more that they try to push this down people's throat, which is, LeBron was in the power seat. He was the one that was dictating how it was going to end. He let the Lakers know he was going to leave. When in reality, the Lakers made it clear last year that this would be his last year because they didn't offer him a contract, right? It seems like some people are now willing to just step out there and just give their opinions. And I also want to say before we get into the sound here, 6 months ago, a year ago, people wouldn't talk the way they're talking right now about LeBron. And this is generally what happens when a player begins to lose their power in the league. Same thing happened to Kobe Bryant. The minute Kobe tore his Achilles tendon, the entire script flipped. Then people who had kind of remained quiet about Kobe started making their opinions known. That's when you saw ESPN ranking him so low. Like, that's when it really kicked into hyperdrive. And I think that's what's happening here. And the latest example of this was yesterday when I tuned into a segment of Fox Sports Radio featuring Jason Martin. And they asked him to weigh in on this LeBron thing. And he basically said, like, he just wishes this guy would retire. Like, he's fed up. But he said it in a way when I'm like, bro, do you realize you're saying this on Fox Sports? Like, you do realize this, right? And you seldom hear people that work at these major networks talk like this, especially about LeBron. But it looks like this guy just got fed up. It looked like he just finally has reached his threshold of BS. He's like, no, I just can't deal with this anymore. Before we even get into his comments, today's video is brought to you by our sponsor, Prize Picks. It's a scorching sports summer, and you can make all your picks on Prize Picks. Women's basketball and baseball are heating up, and with big tennis slams and major golf tournaments on the horizon, you can make your picks for all these events and more all summer long on Prize Picks, America's #1 sports pick app. I think I'm going to get into soccer this summer with Prize Picks. They're offering everything from group stage winners to goals scored, and I'm excited to watch the big stars from countries like Argentina, Brazil, France, and the US and win money while doing it. What's cool is that I can stack game winners from soccer, NBA, women's basketball, and baseball on top of my player picks for even bigger payouts. And Prize Picks is available in all 50 states, including California, Texas, Georgia, and Florida. The entire summer of soccer is on Prize Picks, all 48 countries and every matchup. And if you rep your side during the tournament on Prize Picks, you could win a trip to the final in New York. It's the biggest tournament ever, which means there's even more opportunities to cash in while you root for your favorite national sides and global soccer stars. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Prize Picks, a preferred partner of the NBA. Okay, perfect. So get out your popcorn. It's some pretty long sound, but I think it's very, very interesting. Take a listen to this gentleman here, and I'm going to come back and continue on with the show.
What do you think of Rich Paul and, of course, the situation with LeBron?
I mean, this is something we've talked about way more than we should have because it's been a story way too often during the course of our show. This is LeBron, again, just wanting the spotlight to be all on him. That's why he's going to take forever, at least in my opinion. But the whole of this, just the way that we don't have to even call names because anybody with functioning eyes and ears can go ahead and insert where we leave the blanks unfilled. But the apparatus of media that has all of a sudden just buried the Lakers 6 feet under and used some of the most ridiculous ways to do it. They don't like anything the Lakers have done. They don't like Walker Kessler. They don't like giving up the draft picks for that. There's too many white dudes on the team. There's all of this stuff. It's just everywhere. The Lakers were glazed over and over and over by these same media personalities who are now burying them because of one thing. And it's not because of LeBron James. It's because of LeBron James's coterie, the people that are around him, the Rich Pauls, like you mentioned, Clutch Sports. I don't know if they're signing checks or if they just have leverage or if they're just that tight and that good at politicking. But this whole thing just reeks of AstroTurf to me. The entire thing. It's so frustrating to watch because, again, I've said this before. He's certainly still good enough to be in a league. No question about that. But, man, I wish he would just go away. I don't want to see him anywhere. I'm tired of this being the narrative surround. That league cannot move on until he retires. That league cannot move on until he exits stage left. And he apparently has no intention of doing that. I'm seeing sycophantic stuff out there like it will be a storybook ending if he goes back to Cleveland. It's like, no, it would have been a storybook ending if he had never left Cleveland the second time. Him going to L.A. ruined any chance of, who cares if he goes back to Cleveland and finishes his career there now? I loved you, couldn't win there, went to Miami, won. Then you guys got Kyrie Irving, decided I would leave there, come back and become a hero. Then things didn't go great with Kyrie after we won that title, so then I'm going to go to L.A. so that I can start my other side of my empire and be a Laker and I guess get a statue, at least according to some, who, again, I'm pretty sure have gotten their marching orders and then gone on television and recited them. This whole thing is just so gross and so egomaniacal and narcissistic and letting other people say the stuff you wish you could say about yourself all the time. I loved watching LeBron play basketball. I can't love watching LeBron James do anything on my television anymore, whether it's basketball or anything else. I just want dude to go away.
I don't have the quote in front of me, but Rich Paul has basically insinuated that every team in the league has reached out with interest. I have some takes on where I actually think he's going to end up. What say you?
So the other thing that you've seen the media has repeated is that whoever wants LeBron, they better have a compelling roster. If you have a compelling roster, you shouldn't want LeBron James because you don't just get LeBron, you get everything that comes with it. You get undermining the coach, you get trying to stack the team and not doing a good job of it. He loves to take credit for Anthony Davis, but he doesn't want to take any credit whatsoever for Russell Westbrook. And he was responsible for Russell Westbrook.
Thank you.
You can if you're going to give yourself credit for AD, you're going to pat yourself on the back, then go ahead and sit in the corner for that Russell Westbrook decision that cost you DeRozan and cost you all these other things through the course of the year. You're right about it being about winning, but this whole compelling roster deal, right? So if he goes to Golden State, the reason why Bill Simmons says it would be big is because he knows what it's like to work at that network. He knows how that team would be covered. It's not about them winning a championship. It's about the star power of LeBron James and Steph Curry being on the same team and the volatility of Draymond Green associated with it. AD doesn't look like that'd be a part of it based on what the Wizards have said. But, back in that hypothetical a week ago when that was being discussed, that would be such gravy for the commentary class, for the media class. I agree with you. I don't think that's a championship team, even if he goes there. But I don't think he's going there. If you wanted me to try and predict it, I think the betting favorite in Vegas right now is Philadelphia, and I'd be hard-pressed to think that that's probably not where it would be if he has his druthers. I've seen Miami mentioned because now they've got Giannis. So, yeah, let's go gravy train that one. Or Cleveland. I don't think Cleveland is in the mix at all because I think he knows they can't win even with him. Wherever he goes, if he's going to go now, the only reason he wants to win a championship now is because it buttresses his legacy. I don't think it's as much about the competition as it once was. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm not giving him enough credit for that. But I tend to believe, if I had to bet on it today, he will go to the 76ers.
Wow.
Because that's the opportunity that's there when he goes and joins a team that's ready to win a championship, and maybe he could even see them competing for one without him. And so that might be something that he can't stay away from.
So you heard what he had to say. Let me tell you guys what I think is happening here. I think this is someone that's saying, look, I'm done. I'm done pretending. I'm done acting like as if I love this. I'm done like with the whole charades that you guys want us to go through. I'm tired of putting on the clown suit. And this guy is speaking like a lot of fans. And dare I say, he almost sounds like a Laker fan. He almost sounds like a Laker fan. And that's one of the reasons now the media is beginning to target the Lakers and target Rob Pelinka. Now, all of a sudden, Rob Pelinka doesn't know what he like. It is so clear. They're covering up for their guy. But luckily, there are people out here like us that are pushing back on it. And I think that's the way it should be. You shouldn't be able to just come out here and just blanket the market and say and ensure that there's only one type of narrative that's being put. No. Freedom of press, bro. Let everybody say their piece. Let everybody say their piece. And I like the fact that this gentleman, pretty much, he let his hair down. He let his hair down and he said that this guy is basically holding the NBA hostage right now. And to a certain extent, it is true. But look, the NBA is also moving on at the same time. They are. Look at what took place in the playoffs last year. Victor Wembanyama ascended. Look at the finals ratings that the Knicks brought in. There was a lot of excitement in the league, and there's going to be more excitement going forward. So I think the NBA as a league probably needs to look forward as well. Certainly, it seems like that's the case from a lot of these franchises because I don't think there's any championship contending team that's worth their salt, that's willing to say, hey, you know what, man? Let's give this guy I don't think there's anyone. There's no championship contender that's going to give LeBron a max contract, and that speaks to where he is in the marketplace. He may have the name, but in terms of how he's valued, it's something else. And no matter how they try to spin it in the media, people are just finally getting fed up.